Yo, what's up, everybody? Good evening. This is Bandana Redd coming to you live from CCA. And tonight, I have the honor of interviewing one of my good friends, my bar brother, dude that I look up to, actually motivates me, one and only CCA's Q Frank.
What's happening, big bro? What's
Doing
happening,
brother?
man? It's a pleasure, man. It's funny, man, having you on. You were the first person we interviewed, and to have you interview me, man, it's an honor, absolute honor. I wasn't ready for this.
Yeah,
When John told me it was going to happen last night, I was like, nah, maybe we should wait.
yeah,
But man, it's an honor just to be able to say what I need to say.
yeah. Now, you know what? After like the third interview that you did, I had hit John up and I said, I love, I already talked to you about it, but I told him, I said, I love what you guys are doing. I think this is great. And the fact that you have this platform that you can do these interviews without meeting up with a person. Y'all done changed it now. So now you can interview people all over. And it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be confined to New York City, a
right.
particular borough, a particular park. You can go all over. So I said, with the success of a few of those interviews, I said, all right, you got Q interviewing these guys, but Q has been around, and he is one of the people who needs to be interviewed as well. So I said, set that up. I don't care who you get to interview him, but make sure that somebody puts his story on the CCA's platform, because I know your story, and I know you've done interviews with other people, but on CCA's page, you need to be up there. So I'm glad that he chose me to do it, and yeah, it's an honor. So I want to start off the night with first by saying rest in peace to DMX, who just passed earlier.
Absolutely.
Um, a one of my co-workers' wife passed away yesterday. The whole family was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago with COVID. Um, my co-worker, his daughter, and the wife. And my co-worker and his daughter, they recovered, they're home, but the wife had, took a tragic turn. So she passed away, and it was one of them things that kind of hit hard, because it really makes you think about the how delicate life is, and you're not promised tomorrow. So I want to start it off with saying, brother, we've known each other for some years, and I want to let you know that I love you. I love everybody who I've had that contact with. Whether I speak on it and I tell them or not, I just want everybody to know that I love you, and we all need to hear that. We all need to feel that, especially during this time. This time is
Yeah.
really crazy, and we all on edge. We was talking off air about it, and it's a real trying time. But enough of that. We'll get to that in a later interview.
But
Right
no,
now,
but no, you're right. But yeah, and like you said, rest in peace, X. I did have the honor of meeting him one time,
right.
actually two times, randomly. He driving
Wow.
through Harlem, and he had great energy. And then one day he drove his mother or his grandmother, I forget, was in the care of my aunt, and
Oh,
my aunt
wow.
actually got into the car with him and drove to see her one time, and she told me about that experience.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely rest in peace, X, and also to receive your sentiments, man. The love is mutual, brother. From
Yeah,
day one,
yeah,
day
yeah,
one. You were one of
yeah.
the first brothers, which is interesting. You're one of the first people, the first grown men that I've ever said I love you to.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was
Wow.
because you said it to me, and I was like, oh, wow. It was foreign to me,
Yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, I knew this brother was special, man. Like, and then I had to like spread that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it went to Keith and everybody else. And everybody was tight with us and was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, it's okay to express that genuine love for
You can
your
knock down
brother,
them
man."
walls, knock down them walls of that
That's
that
right.
the old archaic machismo where you as a male you can't be sentimental and you can't be emotional. You
Right.
have to be hard and stern. Nah, man, we got feelings.
That's right.
You know, so,
Most of that hardness comes from feelings.
yeah,
You know, so we
go back up.
gotta respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna start it off with again. I I know your story. You know, a few people know your story, but I want your story to be told on CCA's platform. So, Q France, as far as calisthenics goes, as far as the bar community goes, I got four names. I got four words, and I know it's not in chronological order, but Calisthenic Kings, Highlanders, Brotherhood, Pushing Weight. Um, what do those names mean to you?
We got to throw bar stars in there too,
Bar stars,
because those names represent the organizations that have received me, you know, and accepted my involvement in them. Calisthenic Kings was the first group that introduced me to this culture, you know, and for it to be Calisthenic Kings, George Hit Richards,
right?
he lived right around the hall. He lived on the opposite side of the hall from me. We lived on the same floor, grew up in the same building in the Bronx. So to link with him so many years afterwards on a fitness level, you know, and it literally was, yo, you in shape? You in shape too? You in good shape? You in good shape too? And he was like, you do muscle up? Yeah, you on the team, you know? So that was my start in all this. And like you said, when I left Calisthenic Kings, I was just roaming around, and then it was just Q. It was just the big Q on the shirt with the biceps. There's two of those shirts made.
Yeah.
A small June for my son and one for me.
Because I was looking to get one of those shirts, but it was only two.
And it was just us. I was comfortable with that. I was like, yo, I need to go out and meet everybody else. And you and the Highlanders were the first team to really like open the doors for me. You and Bart Stars were the first team to be like, hey, come to our park. Come work out with us. So I will always tell people that I'm part of Highlanders and part of the Bar Stars family, because that's what y'all treated me as from day one. And y'all engraved in me what this culture is supposed to be like. You're supposed to be welcoming other people. What's that?
Having fun, enjoying your workout.
The community, like we say at CCA, community over everything. That's what those two teams meant for me. So naturally, me being, I've always been a leader in the sense that I don't usually like to. I'm a control freak, right? I like to control my environment, right? So when it's funny because then when I was approached by the young guys for Brotherhood, I didn't want nothing to do with it. I wanted nothing to do with it, man. I was like, I've been down this road. I've been down this road. We had teams of people, you know, and I've seen people leave, some people go, and everything else. I said, yo. So one thing I took from Highlanders was the name of the group couldn't be an egotistical name.
Right.
It was safer to name it after the region. So the word Brotherhood was a part of many basketball tournaments, different tournaments in the area, from Harlem, from Rucker tournament to the Bronx.
Right.
In that area from 161st to 167, Malali's Park, any tournaments in that area was called Brotherhood. Since they moved Yankee Stadium, those tournaments were gone at that spot. So Scott Bernhard, he said, let's name it Brotherhood because that's where we are. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And that's what it was. So I said, you know what, we're going to name this part Brotherhood because that's what it was before these bars were here. So we want to keep that history alive, you know? So Brotherhood became, thanks to my boy Mike, Mike, who said, "Yeah, we should do this. These guys are ready to do it." And I was like, I'm not doing it without you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? I said, I'm not doing that. I need somebody else to tell me not to react with my first instinct. I need somebody to stop me.
To check you.
That's right. And that's what Mike that's what he always is. I see I need a stable head. And I'm that for him sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? So it worked out great, you know, with him, me and him being partners in it, and just keep building it up. And then we got Soul came through with Team Blackout, and it was a family. It's been a family.
Yeah, you three were the pillars of guidance and structure for the team.
Yeah.
You know, you and Mike brought that sensibility and that structure, that guidance. Soul brought the raw energy.
Yeah, and that next level. He was the demonstration of how. He was the demonstration of the full potential of this.
Exactly.
You know? And he's still that motivation force. You know, him doing the bodybuilding and everything else. He's led the way for Dark Knight. You know, Edward and a couple other guys on the squad even trying to get into that field. You know.
Yeah. You was also involved in it was a group with you, Aisha, and Emma, and y'all was doing like park workouts, like
the Fit Factory.
Fit Factory. Fit Factory. Yeah. I enjoyed that too.
That came about just through the workouts that we did together. You know, us, me, Aisha, and Emma we're working at a local gym here in Harlem. And I was doing the group workouts at the park at Brotherhood. And, you know, Emma would be there, Aisha would be there. We all sat down one time, like, yo, we should link up and, you know, and form a little group and get these people in shape. And we did. And like, it's not like Fit Factory didn't really die out, you know?
No.
We're all still doing the same thing, but if we at any given moment we come right back together and form like Voltron.
Right.
Yeah, but it was just a group that we felt it made sense and it was necessary for people to see not only just men and women, but men and women of different races coming together in unison to provide a service to the community.
Right, and that's one of the main things that attracted me to that was the fact that it wasn't just guys. It wasn't, you know, a guy team. It was an athletic man surrounded by two beautiful athletic women, and all three of y'all just had your own element. And within that, I thought that was dope. I thought that was dope.
And the funny thing was, I used to tell Emma because me and Emma would do the strength portion.
Yeah.
And I would usually do more of the mobility and the warm-up part of it. And I would let Emma do the more strenuous part of it. Just to get everybody out of that mindset of the man as a stronger person and everything. You know, just like
for guys, you know.
Yeah, you got to get out of all of those old ways of thinking, man. Just open up to experience something new.
Right. See, again, I'm honored to do this because, you know, for years I've always been motivated by you. You and Doc are my two peers that I always have to look to the side and check myself with, and you two are my gauges. You know, to let me know if I'm going too far or, you know, I'm dropping too low, or, I mean, Doc, I gotta reach, and I gotta reach. So you two always give me something to strive for. That is one of the things that, you know, I hold you two at a high pedestal for. I appreciate you guys for that. And one of the reasons why I think you're like the best fit for this, and I told you, and I told John about, like, especially doing these interviews. I don't see anybody else being able to do this because you've been around. You know, to me, you're like the Yoda of calisthenics. You know, you
Put that
you
on the
have,
t-shirt.
no, I'm serious. I'm serious. The Yoda of calisthenics. I mean, you can have I wouldn't have him green. He'd be brown with the ears and a short build. You know, you are like the Yoda of calisthenics, and I mean that because, like, people gravitate towards you, around you, because of your energy. You know, again, we was talking off air, and we was talking about, like, being in dark place and everything and all, but you have a real soulful, strong energy about yourself, and especially when you get to know a person.
Yeah.
It's like, even if you don't know, it's welcoming. And I think that's evident in the way you have moved throughout the bar community for all these years. I'm telling you, I used to sit back and just envy all the places that you've gone. I mean, without a sponsorship or anybody paying for it, you were the only one that I know of, besides maybe Ed.
Right. Right.
But that Ed was more so like a sponsorship. But you were the only one that I know of that was actually going to all these fitness fairs and expeditions. And I mean, I look on the screen, pop up, you in Dominican Republic, doing something. You in California,
You know what started.
Florida. You'll be all over the place, and I'm like, yo, this dude is really traveling.
But you know what started that, right?
Huh?
You know what started that?
What?
It was the same goal when I first left Calisthenic Kings. It's to meet people.
Yeah.
It's to go to every park. Because remember, we talking about the real era when people were afraid to go to parks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I always felt like they were crazy for saying, yo, you should go to this park because this person gonna do this and that. And I'm like, I've never seen a fight outside of certain isolated incidents.
Right? Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Where I couldn't go to a certain part, right? And again, I was living in the Bronx. I was always working out in Harlem, and I was always working out up in Washington Heights and Brooklyn and Manhattan, you name it. So I was like, I could go anywhere. You can't tell me I can't go anywhere. Right? So I said, you know what? I've already met everybody here. Let's find out what else is going on. As soon as I found out they were paying $500 for a pull-up contest in California, I booked a flight. And they've hit that contest has been going on for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to catch up. So immediately I showed up, and I was like, I got to see this. So at that event, which is the Fit Expo, they have the Battle of the Bars there. So I got to meet Tatted Strength and all of those guys at the WCO, like guys that I idolized and looked up to, from a distance. So I'm like, hey, I'm in your town, But before all of that, the first place I went, as far as like going places for calisthenics, because calisthenics became my vacation now. So,
and I seen it.
Yeah. So like these are my vacations. So when I take my vacation, a day or two of my 7-day or 5-day, whatever trip it is, or just a weekend trip, would be me on the bars, meeting people, and then the rest would be me relaxing. So the very first one, which is why like I said, Bar Stars will always be my family, was Miami. I went to Miami. I put up a post on Facebook. Hey, I'm on South Beach. Who's out here? And Alexia from Bar Stars hit me up.
Yeah.
And that started our friendship that we have. We've been tight since then. And she introduced me to all the players there. Just like when I go to LA, they introduced me to all the players, Chicago, you name it. This community is a real community. And a lot of people need to realize that you can actually reach out to anybody in the
Exactly.
world, and these people will welcome you with open arms.
And one of the tags that I always used to use, like especially with Highlanders, is like we bonded by the bar.
Yeah.
And that became true, and it was evident with you. You know, you didn't know a person from a hole in the wall, but because you may have been following them on YouTube or what have you, because this was like before Facebook and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, people would follow you on YouTube, whatever. Just them seeing your videos, they felt like they knew you.
Yeah.
Not like entertainers. They felt like they knew you. So you was bonded by the bar.
Yeah.
And you know, that became something that I've seen, and I was like, wow, I was always
But you know when I saw it for the first time was when Quincy Jr. I didn't realize that he was such a fan of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So he would watch the YouTube videos, right? The Highlander YouTube videos, right? And I just thought that he was just watching them just like I was watching them. But he was watching G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe was close to his age.
Exactly.
You know?
So he felt relatable.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. And he was like, Dad, I want to meet G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So that was the first time they met up. You know, he was just standing there watching them. And mind you, my son is not really, really big into calisthenics. He's into fitness. He's a ball player and everything else. Right. But he wanted to meet G.I. Joe like somebody would want to meet Michael Jordan.
Right, right.
And I was like, yo, inspiration is inspiration.
Exactly.
You know, he just wanted to meet him, just was like, yo, you know him? Oh, yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you meet him. And then that's what it was. People would reach out to me, like, yo, you know Soul? I'm like, yeah, I know Soul. That's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, yo, how can I connect with him? I was like, reach out to him. And then the people that did were like, man, he's such a cool guy. And this and that. I'm like, bro, you can actually reach out to these people that you idolize, you know, unlike most sports, until it gets bigger.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I always said and like named you like one of the true ambassadors of the bar community, because you held the attention and gravitated around so many people. And if they didn't know anybody else personally, they met you.
Good. Bro, that's
you knew you was like one of the first, like I said, one of the first people who knew other people from other coasts. You know, people who traveled over, especially like for like Puller Park Jam and stuff like that. Besides seeing everybody else's videos, they knew Q.
Yeah.
You know, so that is, I think, you know, that's one of the more important and humble things that I like I said, appreciate about you. You've been around, and you have the air of the attention of the bar community. And I say the bar community because, you know, I'm talking about, you know, our thing, our fitness world, you know. What motivates Q? What motivates you?
Just in general, or to be that?
Yeah, in general, and to be more specific, in fitness.
So you said in fitness? Oh, you froze for a second. Yeah,
wow.
You said in fitness?
Yeah, I think you said in fitness. While Red is stuck in time, we'll wait for him to catch up real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, like what is one of the things let's start with fitness first. What motivates you in fitness? Somebody that you're already at an incredibly high level. What motivates you now?
Well, I don't even want to say now. I mean, like in the past, it has been just staying healthy. That has always been my biggest goal, because I've been injured before, know what that felt like to be forced to not move, and I didn't like that at all. So just being able to make sure that I stay healthy, and I'm not a young cat, man. I'm almost 50, and the majority of people my age are not moving like me. So that's probably my biggest motivation. When I went to my son's after school and his basketball camps and all of these other things, and I would see all the other fathers that were my age and see how they were moving around. They weren't moving like me. They looked older than me, and they had many different physical ailments. And I never wanted to be that. I still wanted to be that guy that came to my son's parent-teacher night, and people were still asking, like, "Yo, that your brother?"
Right.
You know, that was my motivation. That's my motivation. My motivation has always been to be able to move around like the older people, like Keith Fields. My boy Mel that I just posted, who's gonna be 66 this month, that still does muscle ups and things like that. I want to be that person. I want to be that 5% of the nation that does everything that the drug companies say that you shouldn't be able to do.
Gotcha.
So that's my physical motivation.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my physical motivation.
With all your travels and all the events, all the people that you've met, like what's one of your fondest memories? I'm sure you have a lot because, like I said, I mean, between Miami, between Chicago, between LA, Vegas, again,
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, Dominican Republic. I'm sure you have a lot of memories, but what's one of the most fondest memories you have from either meeting a particular person or just inspiring or just being there?
It's always been my most, like, it's always two things. The first one is always the first time, like the first time I met somebody, right? Because especially the ones that will reoccur, like the people I would meet that will reoccur. So like I'll go to LA, I meet Tatted Strength and all the West Coast guys, all those guys, Bruce Leroy and all those guys, right? The first time I met them is always dear to my heart because you know that first impression means a lot, you know, and the experiences have been different. Sometimes it's welcome with open arms, sometimes it's kind of hesitant, and I welcome it all. But at the end of the day, all I want to do is prove to them that I'm somebody that they can trust. Right. So then by the time I come back the next time, that greeting is tenfold. And the time after that, tenfold again. You know what I'm saying? So it's always the first time meeting everyone. And I do mean everyone from, but the second part of it is the most important part. The second one is all the people that I've met that just learned about calisthenics or new to it and came to me for information, whether about a particular person, a move, you name it. One of my fondest memories is Chris Hera, right? This dude is an international superstar right now, right? He's always been a cool dude with me. I remember one day that he asked me, this was probably before the first time he went overseas with Bar Stars, and he was asking me about the Muscle Up 360. Andre, this is a move that I didn't really do that often, right? I didn't do that often, but like he came to me, I was like honored that he even came to me to ask me how to do it, right? And like, so I always watch what people do with the information I give them. Like they may not know this, but I give them the tools and then I sit back and watch from a distance. Watch through videos, whatever. If they send me videos, follow-ups, you name it, and I'll watch their progress because I hope that the information that I give them, that they heed it and apply it. And everybody knows what Chris can do. So with a 30-second quick little, because I think I had to leave. I might have had to get on a plane, and he asked me like as I was leaving, and I sat down with him and his brother, and I told him, I walked him through it. And next video I saw, he's doing 360s, he's doing flying off the top of the bar. Next thing he's in Russia.
Right.
And I have to feel proud of that, right? Because not to say that I was the reason for any of it, but I just wanted to see him follow through with the information I gave him, and that means a lot to me.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day.
Yeah.
Show a man how to fish, feed him for a lifetime.
That's right. So every single person that I've given any form of instruction to that did it and got better from it, that's the greatest feeling in the world for me.
Right. All right. Now, see, I'm sure everybody knows you're not new to this. You've been doing fitness all your life. I mean, this is not nothing that you just got into a couple of years ago and got a little name on social media and here we are, cue friends. Nah, brother, been around for years. What was your first encounter as far as physical fitness goes? Who was the first person that got you into it? Opened your eyes. Lit that fire.
All right.
The first flame, because there's numerous flames throughout your fitness life. But that first flame, who was that person?
This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one, right? I hope y'all ready for this. This is a story right now. This is story time. So, the first person that it was a person, definitely a person. He recently passed away. He's a good friend of mine. We went to school together, lived in the same neighborhood. If everybody remember, this is junior high school.
Okay.
Yeah, junior high school. And they had the physical fitness test.
Right.
The national physical fitness test.
They don't even do that anymore,
No, yeah, I do. And one of the things that we plan on doing with CCA is trying to get some form of that implemented again.
Right.
That's one of our long-term goals is to try to implement a program to get that back into schools, because I think there's a lot of benefits from that. Because that test created that test helped create me. Right. So the story goes like this. I've won that test every single year prior to that, right? Prior to this day. My boy, he beat me in the run. So there's a couple different elements of it. There's a pull-up test, push-up test. I think we had to do sit-ups. We had to climb a rope, which was like 20 feet high.
Yeah.
We had to climb the rope, and then we had to run, right? For years, I would beat everybody in everything else, and I didn't care about the run, but I would still win the run. Right. That year, again, like always, I beat everybody in everything else, and my boy Edwin beat me in the run. And he took that like the biggest trophy in the world. He never let me let it down. He was like, yo, I don't care. I'll beat you in the run. And at first I was like, so what? I'm still the national champion because of everything.
I got 4 years ahead of you.
Yeah. And then plus, mind you, remember, it's accumulated test. It was accumulated test. I came in second place. I still won the national top ranking, right? But I was like, because of the fact that he's going to point out the fact that I missed a run, I feel like I lost the whole thing.
Wow.
So every year after that, which was probably 2 years because they got rid of it.
Yeah.
I won everything again. But he became my first motivation to try harder. Because I always talk about this Muhammad Ali quote that a true champion loses and comes back to win again.
Yes.
That's the proof test of a champion. Because most people that take that loss, especially if it's a hard loss,
they stop.
Yeah, they stop, or they come back different.
Right.
But to come back stronger than you were before, because I not only did I make sure that I won, I made sure I beat my time.
Right.
Best times I ever did, I made sure I beat those.
Right.
Not just to win again. Like people were around the corner while I was still coming around the building. That kind of fast. Like I was like, I'm gonna make sure I'm a runner. I'm a runner now. I'm gonna concentrate on the run. Since I beat everybody and everything else, I'm gonna concentrate on the run. But he was that first person to give me that loss. to make me realize, and mind you, it was such an insignificant loss, but he made it so, like, he did it, like, till he passed, right? God rest his soul. To the day he passed, when anyone would mention me, he would say that he beat me in that run.
You still hold that over your head?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It was, he talks to his kids about it.
Wow.
It was his shining moment. And
Yeah.
I saw that. Like, I realized that. And I was like, yo, he really got me.
So he lit that flame, that first flame under you to say, okay, yeah, I got to step
Right.
up.
And the fact that I found out that he was actually training to beat me.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was like training to beat. I was like, oh wow, hold up.
So while you was winning and got comfortable and content in your winnings, there was somebody in the background racing, trying to work harder than you to try to get your spot.
Yeah. So it created a monster.
Man.
He created a monster that time. I was like, yo, never again. I'm not gonna be that dude no more to take anything lightly.
Right.
And that was junior high school.
Yeah. And I mean, it shows now. It still shows now because, granted, we don't see each other every day, but anytime we see each other, anytime we link up, we speak, you know, it's just like chopping it up, and you know, you just start back from where you ended. You still have that drive. You still have that hunger that okay, I gotta better myself. Okay, maybe not to try to reach that person's peak, but you reaching yours.
Yeah.
You know?
It's all about mine. Yeah, it's all about mine.
Yeah,
it's all about mine. Like the
right.
first time I did pull apart jam, I told Keith, I was like, bro, I'm gonna win.
Right. I remember.
Like, look at me like, yeah. He was like, yeah, all right, young buck. I was like, no, you don't understand. I missed this thing for 2 years straight.
Yeah.
And in those 2 years, all I wanted to know was what the numbers were for the people that won. I already know I'm beating those numbers.
Right.
He was like, yeah.
Telling me, each year, like the first 2 years or so, you were saying that you couldn't make it out there because you was working on Saturdays, and you know, you always regretted not being able to show up there. That year that you did make it, I don't know, what was that, 2011?
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
10 or 11.
No, it might. Yeah, 10. I think it might be 10.
10. Yeah, that year that you did show up. You racked up. You came home with all the first place middleweight champions, the trophies and the medals. So
yeah,
you wasn't playing.
No, that was my goal, man. That was my goal. Because remember, I was trying to figure out what to do, and I saw I realized that I was like, yo, they're holding these contests, and all you got to do is some physical fitness. So it was back to that whole national fitness thing again. I was like, oh man, this is my alley. This is right up my alley. I work out. I train for this. I do pull-ups. I think this is my lane.
Yeah.
You know, so I was like, all right, there's only one thing to do, put up or shut up. And those years before that, I would show up late just to be around it, you know, watch the winners as they got their trophies, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna be right there.
Because what a lot of people don't understand is, I mean, you can't get this from looking at the pictures or seeing the videos. The energy that was there at the Pull Apart Jam events, it just was incredible. Yeah. I mean, I've been to other competitions where you had that bravado and you had this sense of, okay, you know, it's all about these people over here or this team over here. At PUBG, it was just a family. It was just a vibe all within the park, within our section. It was a bar community. A phrase that I coined just so that it can be inclusive to all. It wasn't about what team, what name team, or what area you was from. It was about you being part of what, you know, called this community of people, like-minded people who was just into fitness and trying to better themselves. And what better way to showcase that than to pit everybody against each other, as far as, you know, in a competitive way.
Yeah.
And you know, that was something that Pup J did. And I want to thank you on behalf of Pull Up Park Jam, you know, Keith, Ray, Manny, everybody, all the volunteers, everybody who was involved in it. I want to thank you for all the help that you have given over the years, because you played an intricate part. And there's a lot of times I felt like, damn, man, I can't do this. But then I was able to look to the side of me, and there were good brothers and sisters that were there holding me down. And you were definitely one of them. Intricate part of Pull Up Park Jam. One of the oldest and one of the longest running calisthenic events in New York City.
Bro, I
I
appreciate that.
I really appreciate it.
I thank you so much, man. Because I told Keith, man, I said, look, there's gonna be. I knew I wasn't gonna compete the whole time, right? Because it was that one competition. I'll never forget it, man. It haunted me that people were coming up to me and asking me if I was competing,
right?
And I was like, why? You know why? And they wouldn't answer me. And then somebody had to come over and be like, yo, they want to know if you're competing, so they know whether or not to compete.
Wow.
And I was like, excuse me? It was like, yeah. They said they figured that if you compete, they were going to lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And it was one time in Chicago, it was the same situation where I was like, you know what? I'm going to step back and judge, right? And help you guys out. And the competitors say, no, we want to see you compete.
Yeah.
So it was like a catch-22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, wow. So I was like, you know what? I want to, first of all, again, I'm a control freak, right? So I want to experience what it's like to organize and help build before I go into it myself, you know? So I was like, Pull Up Park Jam is the perfect experience to connect with, because that's hundreds of people, you know? That's jumping into the deep end of the pool.
Exactly.
You know,
to swim, you don't have no floaties or nothing.
That's right. That's right. So I was like, yo, this is the perfect way for me to learn, you know, learn and gain all this knowledge. Plus, it's a group of people that I love and respect. So I'm going to be valuable to them, you know, if I do that. So I jumped right in and helped out. You know, we had that meeting where I was supposed to be part of, be a bigger part. But at that time, we started Push the World Tour. And I said, look, I'm committed to a couple of things, and I don't want to not give you the energy that you deserve. But day of or any time in between you need my help, I got you.
Right.
I got you. If it's just content or helping open a site or whatever it is, finding content to put on a page, I'm there for you. And at the event, I'm there 100%.
Yep. And one of the, I mean, you did that and more, because you actually gave me the blueprint to a lot of the things that I did in the ways that I moved as far as organizing Pup J and promoting it. You know, one of the things that I got from you was from the Brotherhood page was how you would acknowledge people on their birthday. You would post a picture, you know, congratulate them, you know, send them some love, and have everybody else chime in. That's one of the things that I got from you. When I first seen it, I was like, that's really cool, because even if you feel like you're nobody, to see your picture up there, somebody acknowledging you on your birthday, it does wonders. You know, it did wonders, and I took that formula that you had, and I used that for Pup J, and I got some real good, tremendous feedback by that, because people were like, yo, I didn't think that you would know that, you know, and they were honored, and you know, I was honored by that fact. But you know, that was just one of the things. There were so many things that I took from you that you know, like, you inspired me to promote and work on as far as Pup J goes. One of the things that he was mentioning, that, you know, he was going into other things, was the shirts that we are both wearing. This podcast is sponsored by the one and only Pushing Weight.
Yes, indeed.
Fitness apparel that has been around for years, a part of the bar community from its inception, and will forever be. I'm always indebted, and this is always important. I always wear these shirts with pride, not only because I know the story, the history that they have with our competitions, but I also know that you're the ambassador of. And when I represent this, I represent you, I represent Pushing Weight. Speak a little bit about Pushing Weight for the people.
For sure.
Until my next shirt.
All right. Real quick, I just want to touch on the birthday thing. The birthday thing started because it was something that I would just do on Facebook first, just acknowledging everybody's birthday that came up on Facebook. Right. And then I was like, let me take one step further and actually post a picture of them, just to see the reaction. Right. I just wanted to see what happened. I didn't put any thought into it. I just said, no, it was one. I don't even know who was the first person that I did it to. Right. But I put it up there, right? And then the reaction I gave was good. You know, I was like, okay. And then I was like, let me see who else's birthday is this day. Yeah. And I would check it out, right? And then I got a message one time from somebody saying asking me if they should send me the picture that I would post. Right. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. I think I've gone too far. Right? And I was like, I said, I'm just assuming that I'm picking pictures that they've chosen, right? Yeah. Technically, because these are pictures from their profiles. Right. But I was like, maybe I need to step back from this because I might be putting up a picture that somebody might find offensive. Now, it was only one instance. The next message I received from somebody that was the same day was a phone call of them in tears thanking me. Yeah. Because they were in such a low point in their life. Yeah. On their birthday. And I relate to that. Right? Which was probably my biggest driving force for doing it. Because every year around my birthday, I would get depressed. Right. Get into that zone. Yeah. Right. So I said, you know what? I'm going to flood people with happy birthday wishes to the point where they can't ignore it. And hopefully they receive that as a good energy. You know, so if anybody wondering why I do that, because we got to celebrate life, man. People die every day. Yes. Yes. You know, people go every day, man. Babies are born and go and go in the same instance. We have to celebrate life, man. You woke up, you took a breath, you have to celebrate that. You have 24 hours to be great. So I just wanted to do that for my health and hopefully bring some kind of joy into everybody's birthday. So that's all I wanted to say on that. No, that was big because I was doing that. I got similar messages, you know, of the same, of people saying that, you know, wow, I can't believe that you actually posted my picture wishing me a happy birthday during a time like this. You know, I you know, maybe I just broke up with you know, a loved one or whatever, or I was just in a dark place, and to go online and then see someone out of the blue, not like a family member, nothing, just out of the blue, just acknowledge me. You know, I got a lot of messages, a lot of positive messages about that, and you know, again, that's, if anybody wanted to know, that was something that I got from this man right here. Yeah. I'm also wearing my Brotherhood shirt. Yes, sir. So as far as Pushing Weight goes, right? Like you said, Pushing Weight has been around. You have to understand, Pushing Weight is a apparel brand. They have I'm saying this because a lot of people still don't know. Pushing Weight is an apparel brand, a fitness apparel brand, have been around long before the bar game. Yes. They got involved with the bar game because of one of the founders realized the calisthenic community was happening. They saw a flyer, so they reached out to Matrix, MBXA, So they was like, hey, you need a sponsor, and they showed up, tent and the whole 9 yards to support their culture. They supported pull-up hard jam in the past, and even Wingate competitions. So how I got involved with them was by winning. I would just show up. It was funny too. It was a funny thing that was happening. I would show up. I would see them. I knew the brand. I purchased something from them, and they were like, "Yo, what you doing?" I was like, "About to win." And I was always my statement. I was like, "I came to win, man. I came to win." So I believe, if I might not be mistaken, he must have said, "Yo, if you win, come back to the booth." So I came back with my trophy, and they gave me a shirt. So the next time they saw me, "What's up, Q?" I was like, "Guess what? About to win again." They were like, "Yeah, right. All right, we gonna see." I was like, "All right." Came back. I was like, "Here's the trophy. What's up?" And they gave me something again, right? But I knew there was going to be something bigger, like as far as our relationship, because they reached out to me and said they wanted me to come to a high school in Brooklyn and talk to the kids. And I was like, "Oh, absolutely," because that's what I was doing with Brotherhood. Right. Just going to kid. We did anti-bullying rallies. Like if they had a school had a pre back to school, toy drive, stuff like that. I would connect with them and just come to the kids, talk to them about the benefits of health and fitness. Right. So I went to the school, talked to the kids. It worked out great. So they kept inviting me to different things. And we wound up at NYU, where the owner of Pushing Weight is an alumni. And he started the calisthenics contest and a powerlifting contest, which the school already had, but now it was hosted by and sponsored by Pushing Weight. So I came on board for that, and just so happened we were such in sync that we just partnered up, and then it took we had a meeting after. So when the UFL came around, they wanted someone to make their apparel. So of course I connected them with Pushing Weight. And then when I left UFL, I pretty much took Pushing Weight with me. Because we were not being valued as we should.
And compensated.
Yes, definitely not compensated. They were trying to ask me to get them to drop the price and different things like that. I'm like, first of all, I ain't even get paid. So miss me with all of that. So then we really sat down and had a conversation, say, you know what, instead of looking for other people to help us, let's help each other.
Let's do it
you and I. And we really got into a partnership, and we really pushed it. And it's funny because immediately NYU changed the deal, and we got paid what we were worth. And I was able to bring in other trainers and pay them $50 just for the day. Numerous trainers to come in and just be part of that. And has always been my goal. No matter what I do, I want to help other people, help people and provide, hopefully provide employment to the point where they can do what they like to do or love to do and get paid to do it. So that was the start of what will eventually become something great. And the partnership between us have been great. They said they wanted me to become an ambassador. And I was like, absolutely, of course. We started to push the world tour after we separated from UFL.
Which was major.
And it was, from the jump. And it just made sense because now it's me, once again, taking vacations to locations where I know the people now. Remember, I did all that legwork. I was in Chicago before. I was in LA before. The only place I wasn't was DR as far as the community goes. But it didn't matter because we were coming there to promote health and fitness. The bigger part of it was we wasn't showing up saying, yo, we are health and fitness and we are Pushing Weight and you should come to us. We were connecting with the people at every single location that was doing the exact same thing. And instead of showing up and saying, hey, this is our thing, we did what people should do. You create a community. When we go to Miami, it's not a Pushing Weight event. It's the Bar Stars Pull-Up Jam and Pushing Weight, Push the World Tour. It's a collaboration, right? And that's how we will always be. When we're in Chicago, Go Infinite Tribe, they were the first stop on the tour. So we stopped at 2 parks. We went to the Go Infinite Tribe. We met up with them. We ran them through a bunch of challenges, gave out some prizes, and went to another park, met up with Amari. You was there,
Yeah,
you know?
dope.
And that was the after the pull apart jam, you know? So it has always been that, and we continue to grow. We went out to the Dominican Republic, connected with GY Fitness. They have a huge community out there. People that just working out, training. That community is beautiful. And mind you, my Spanish is not that good.
Right.
You know, but it just works out, man. It's been a beautiful, beautiful thing, and I'm continue to ride with them forever, man. That's family.
Right. And this is the reason why I felt you needed to be on here, because people are getting to hear and see you in the light that we in the community know. You're the perfect face for these interviews. Perfect. I told you, you're one of the ambassadors of the bar community. And you're the Yoda of calisthenics. So I think you wear a lot of those important hats, and you know, as always, I'm always proud of you.
Appreciate that, man.
One of the things you mentioned is the UFL. I actually forgot what it stood for. The United Fitness League.
Urban.
Sorry, yeah, Urban Fitness League.
Yeah.
You played a part in the beginning.
Yeah.
With it, but then, yeah, you started it off, but then you tell the story.
All right. So basically, the owner of UFL, which at the time it wasn't called UFL, it was like I forget.
Yeah, it was a different name.
So I knew the owner through the bar culture, you know.
Right.
He had connections through the bar culture. He was training with a couple people in the bar culture, so he reached out to me to get training. I trained him, and then I guess he was speaking to Doc about creating a league, you know, not a league, but a competition.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know, do I want to be a part of it? And I was like, of course, you know, why not? Anything to push this culture. So we did the one. Yeah. So we did the first event, Coney Island, under the first name. It was a great event, great energy. You know, Beast was there as one of the hosts.
Right.
And they brought on David Diamante, who was the announcer for the Nets, right? And I never forget, right? This is when I realized I need to monitor what I say and do around them, right? Yeah. So he had, because remember, this is a well-paid announcer for the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets. He had a list of names, and he knows how to announce, right? Mm-hmm. But again, you don't get, I'm trying to figure out how to put this. You would like to have someone that knows the people, the culture.
Exactly.
To announce for the culture. Right. Because we all know nobody goes by their real names in calisthenics.
Exactly.
It's very rare. It's very rare. So he was calling everybody by their government names, and here comes such and such. And I was like, everybody would look at each other like, who? And I would look on the sheet, and I was like, oh, you mean Bolo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, you mean Juice? It's like, by now, I'm like, no, you mean Juice. Just say Juice. Yeah. So we had to write the names on the side, and I was like, all right, they're willing to pay this man to come in and do half-ass job. Right? No disrespect to David Diamante. Right? He's the one they hired to do their job. They gave him the sheet. They didn't let him know that. Right? So that was one event. Went out. The athletes got paid $100 to do that event. I received I think I received $100 for judging it. Mm-hmm.
We got gift cards.
That's what it was. I did not get paid.
It wasn't $100. It was gift cards.
Right. That's
we thought we were getting paid, and then they give us some gift cards, and we're like, "What is that?"
Right. right? So again, this
Supposed
was
to go to Sears
all of
now?
this. Yeah, all of this was discussed prior,
Right.
and it wasn't followed through.
Right.
So that said, it went past, a year passed, 2 years passed, whatever. I forget how long it was. They called me in for another meeting. We plan on doing another event. We have a new name now, Urban Fitness League. I immediately hated the name.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, all right, whatever. Again, I had to monitor myself, right? Because they said, okay, let's have a meeting. And again, this is a sports marketing company, right?
Yeah.
They're no stranger to dealing with athletes.
7th Ave, 5th Avenue, 7th Avenue, something like that. They were high rise and everything.
Yes, they have the money. I've been to this man's house in Miami.
Yeah.
I was in Miami with him and everything like that. They have the funds, right? So they said 5 o'clock meeting. I show up at 5 o'clock, 4:45, whatever. I'm in the meeting and I'm spilling the beans. Oh, we should do this. We should try this to make sure that this league is right. And we're going to make this a sport. We should focus on this and focus on that and everything else. And I'm just spilling the beans because this is what I love to do, you know? And I see an opportunity here, not realizing that they're just going to take, right? So we're in this meeting for a whole hour. And then Doc shows up because it's me and Doc, right? But then I come to realize that what I said didn't matter. It was always them and Doc. So I was like, oh man, damn, why was I here for a whole hour when you're just gonna ignore everything I just said and just run with whatever he already said, right? So again, I had to stop talking, basically. I had to stop talking because all this information I'm giving.
Stop giving them ideas.
Yeah. And I've had meetings with their backers. Like they were supposed to be working on something huge. So I met with the foreign, the money people, basically. They came to Yankee Stadium, I met with them. They talked to me about building a whole stadium on a football field in the whole 9 yards. They asked me, how do I get a return on my money? I said, very simple. And I mapped it out for them. And they said, that sounds good. Let's start working on this. Remember, I am not in charge of the working on it part. The owners of UFL are. Right? They didn't do any action. No action took place. They had me sit down with a marketing company, a Black-owned marketing company that was interested in using some of the athletes for different ads, including GM, Coca-Cola, so other things. Me and Mike went into this meeting. We sat there. They actually came to Yankee Stadium also to see like what we do. And they were very interested. They gave me a call and told me that they're ready to work with us. All they're waiting for is for them to sign off to make sure that the athletes get compensated. And they never did. So that said, we had another meeting as they were planning the last big event, the big one in Coney Island with Jim Jones and Mario Lopez and all of these people. And I'm watching these numbers. Mario's getting paid $7K, and this person's getting $7K, $10K to this person, that person's getting this. The budget was ridiculous. Meanwhile, no ticket sales. So I'm like, so how are you gonna make this money back? Like, what happened to all this stuff I said about where's the website and highlighting this and highlighting that and promoting this and promoting that? None of this is happening. But you got this huge venue that sits 5,000 people. You haven't even sold any tickets or anything like that. And I was like, but first of all, you sent me an email saying that I was going to get paid a certain amount of money for my work. When is this money coming? After the event? So I was like, look, unless I get paid for this, I'm not saying another word. And my phone stopped ringing. And I was like, good. I stood my ground. What am I supposed to do? Be a sucker forever? So I stood my ground. They stopped emailing me. The day before the event, I get an email. Can you help? Excuse me? How? 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 Like giving you back the money you spent? You know, how am I supposed to help? And it was like, okay, well, at least come to the event. Here's one ticket. And I was like, bro, look, I don't move. I don't go anywhere by myself. You got to send me a couple tickets. No response back. So I stayed my butt home out of pure disgust.
Right.
I was like, I'm not going to take part in this. Remember, there was people that trusted me throughout this whole entire journey. The athletes.
I know.
Athletes were calling me, the ones that participate. This athlete still calling me right now because UFL has an event coming up, and it was like, Q, I want to be part of it. I am not involved. I want everybody to hear me. I'm not involved with UFL unless I get paid.
Right.
And I need back pay. Right? So the end result of UFL was push your weight, push the world tour. That's what I want to let everybody understand. The end of all of that was me realizing I need to shut up and need to take ownership of my own value and put it where it's going to be the best received.
Right.
There's a lot more to this story, but that's about it all. I'm gonna leave right there.
No, amen to that. No, I get you. Because like any other business, in its infancy, people just want to get on, and they want to get their ideas out there. They want to get their recognition. But then it comes a time where you need to be compensated for it as well.
Yeah. But then also the imagery of it.
Yeah.
Because the owner, as soon as the owner put on a pair of custom Air Force Ones with a UFL logo on it with a tracksuit, I was like, all right. That's cultural appropriation at its finest.
Yes. Yeah.
I want no part of it. Yo, first of all, I want everybody to understand something. I have nothing against my boy Doc. Doc is family.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I know that he's still involved with them, and I wish him all the best. But you hear my stance on them, and unless people are being compensated as they should, because they have the funds, I refuse. I refuse to take any part of it in it because they're not doing it for the right reasons.
No, it makes sense. I mean, I've had my feelings about it, run-ins with it, and I took a step back. Similar, I didn't get that far into the meetings and stuff. I didn't go that far because at that time I was involved with PUBG, and I already knew what PUBG was about. It was already community based. I wasn't about to leave that to go and start something new with some strangers. So I stood where I felt that I was needed.
Right.
And that's my stance there. You was intricate in Brotherhood being at 161 Yankee Stadium Park.
Yeah.
That became your park. You solidified it. You baptized the bars. The first to touch the bars before the park opened. So that became you. You were the mayor of the park. 2 years ago? No, not 2 years. Quarantine messed everybody up. Last year, during the quarantine, this when New York City shut down the parks. They closed. This is for the first time in my life. I've never seen a park closed. They unless it was under construction.
Right.
They actually closed the parks to keep people from converging and being social in there. So they closed the parks. Some were just locked, gated. Others, like the park near me, Morrow, they didn't have it. Wasn't they just redid it a few months prior to the pandemic, so they didn't have a fence. They brought temporary fence in and posted it up, put it there, closed the park. Yankee Stadium Park, 161 Park, was like the first and only park that instead of closing the park, instead of putting up that temporary fence in, which I think they did, but then people jumped over. They did that at Monroe too, but nothing happened there because of the neighborhood. what the New York City Parks Department did was they cut the bars. They sawed off all the fitness apparatuses, you know, basically leaving up posts, vertical posts, so no one can go there and work out or exercise. That threw a lot of people off because, you know, little did they know that these areas, these parks, these fitness areas are like therapy sessions for us. These are our places to go when we want to blow off some steam.
Yep.
Instead of getting into negative activities, a lot of times you go there, you get a nice workout in, and you feel the positive effects from that. They didn't see none of that. They just came and they just cut down the bars.
Yeah.
There was a intricate person there that they weren't expecting. They weren't expecting nobody to get at them the way that this person got at them. That person, you went to New York City Parks Department. You sent them emails. You got the city council involved, and you argued your case about why they decided to cut the bars down like that. Because what that wasn't them unscrewing them, and then when everything was all clear, they can screw them back in.
Right.
They cut them. So the only way that you can fix this is you had to rebuild the area again, because now by this time 161 was already a couple of years old,
right.
And because it's on the roof, it's always saturated by rainwater. So the foundations of a lot of these metal posts were already rusted and stuff. They just thought, okay, well, we can just cut it down and nobody would know. No, and even if they did, who cares? It's just that's just that neighborhood. Who cares? They weren't thinking about who was there, who was the mayor of that park. Let them know what happened and what did you do to get them bars back into place, because they're there now.
Yeah. So a little backstory. 2012. 2010, I believe. Yeah, 2010, because 2020 was the 10th year that park has been there.
The 10th?
Yeah, the 10th. That was 10 years.
Wow. And years ago.
Because Brotherhood started in 2012.
Wow.
It was 2010 when that park was put in the ground, when those poles were put in the ground. So here's a little backstory, right? I was living in the North Bronx. Living in the North Bronx when they started that project.
Right.
And they had a little workout area further down the street on 161st before you got to the highway. They made a track and built a small workout area.
Yeah.
If anybody goes to YouTube and look up my old push-up, pull-up music video that I did with my cousin, you see a small glimpse of that park in that video. So I used to go there because my family still lived 1 block away from the park, from Yankee Stadium, right? So as they were building the park, I realized they were going to build that workout area. I immediately was trying to find an apartment near that park, because that's like coming back home. And it wound up my brother had found an apartment across the street from where I grew up. So he moved in and I moved in. I moved in maybe 6 months or less before the park opened. So like you said, I was the first person. I was standing outside that gate every day waiting for it to open. And it was on a rainy day that I went up to the park and the gate was open. And I went up there and I touched everything. I had a leather coat on. It was pouring rain. I did muscle ups in my leather coat just to be the first person to touch the bars.
You recorded it just so you can have proof that you were the first to baptize. You actually baptized the bars. It was in the rain.
Yeah. So remember that, right? Remember that, right? So it was raining that day, right? When I first touched the bars and the bars open.
Right.
I mean, and the park open. So, so I moved back to the neighborhood. Literally, it's like I said, it's 1 block away. All I got to do is go past a parking lot and I'm right in the park. I was there every day. Morning, noon, night, Saturday, I was there all day. I'll play basketball all day. Me and my son, we go work out, go eat, come back. Sometimes we used to have pizza delivered to the park.
Wow. Wow.
That's how much they knew. We had West Indian food delivered to the park. Right? So, and in the process of it, again, I told you like offline about how as I got older, I started to realize I would be comfortable by myself. And I had to force myself to get out of that trend. So that park was part of the process. Every day I went to the park, I would start from the end of the track and just walk through the field, walk through the football field and everything, and just say what's up to people. What's up, man? What's up, man? Working out today? Oh, I'll catch you another time. And most of the people, remember, this is still my neighborhood. So I knew a lot of the people out there already from the hood. And then whoever else I didn't know, I got to know them. So it's like we were talking about. If I know you, but I don't know them, but they know you, or they know me, they had to. So if I'm with them, we all had to meet each other to the point where if I'm not there, they already met. So now they have to talk to each other. And I refuse to listen to anybody to be like, yo, I don't like that dude. And I was like, I'm gonna call him over here so y'all can talk. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I need to feel comfortable here because my son is here. My mother runs that track. My aunts come work out with me. You know what I'm saying? I need this place to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So we became that community.
That was like the guardians of that park.
Yeah, we had to clean up. We would clean up. If fight broke out, we broke the fight up. People were stealing. We were security.
Yeah.
You know, we had to be that because that's how deep I wanted to make this thing. I said, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be here 100%. So like you said, when people call me the mayor, people do call me the mayor. It take you 30 minutes to get through the park because you got to say what's up to everybody. But like that's home for me, man. That is my home. So like I said, the young boys said they wanted to start a team. We started Brotherhood. We got some shirts made up here and there, but you couldn't get a shirt. Well, no, let me take it back a little bit. So one day we decided to become something, right? We said, we're Brotherhood. Let's all get together, do a routine to make it so. Like we wanted, this is before the actual requirements. We said, let's at least get one workout together as a group just to solidify this thing that we created. Yeah. We had a bunch of people come out. The show-offs came. Kevin Josh came out. And we said, we're going to do this routine. As long as you complete this routine, you're part of this family. And Mike printed up a bunch of shirts, or old shirts that we had. On that day, there was a hurricane. Right. I'm talking the wind. Yeah, the winds and the rain was going horizontally. Like, it was crazy. There was an inch of water on the floor as we were working out. The moment the last person finished the routine, and Mike was handing out the shirts, it stopped. Started raining. And cleared up. Yeah. I said, we just got baptized.
Yeah, Brotherhood was baptized in 161.
Yeah, I said, that was official. That was official. The universe has welcomed us now. You know, it's official now. And that was the real start of Brotherhood right there. Right.
So now the parks cut down the bars.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't get any flack from anybody. I mean, it was probably just people complaining amongst themselves there. It took the efforts of yourself to gather up signatures, online signatures, and grab the attention of the city council members to get involved in replacing these bars.
Oh no.
Gather up the funds, get the funds, grab it from somewhere because it's there.
Oh, no.
And replace it because this is an integral part in the wellness of this neighborhood.
Yeah. See, they like you said, they put up the temporary fencing, but it's the Yankee Stadium has, the Brotherhood probably has more traffic than most parks.
Yeah.
More foot traffic. There's more people in that park than most parks in the city.
Right,
Like,
because it's right next to a landmark.
Yeah,
it's like going to Central Park, you know.
Yeah, it's next to a landmark. It's a major hub right there, you know, and a lot of people in the community. There's a lot of sporting events, a lot of youth leagues in there. There's a baseball league, football, basketball, you name it, right? There's a lot of foot traffic. The funny thing is, when they cut down those bars, there were more people in that area than ever before. Because remember, we're still dealing with COVID. People cooped up in their homes. So when they cut the bars, right? First, I get a call. People send me pictures. Yo, the bars are gone. And I was like, nah, come on, man. So I went over, checked it out, and it hurt my heart to see the bars, and especially when I realized how they did it.
Yeah.
And then it was just a week after, city opened all parks.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so all the parks are open and we still don't have any bars? Mm-hmm. I immediately jumped into action. And it's funny too, because like around that time, there was a lot of people protesting and everything else. And like we went out for a couple of the protests just to soak up the energy and see what's going on and feel the vibe of, like what's going on. If there's really like going to be some changes happening, and I was like torn whether to march in the streets, which is like a long-term thing. If you just march in the streets, you're not really getting anything done. It's organizers, if you're not signing petitions and sending documents to people that can make change, you're not doing as much as you can possibly do. Marching is important, but the more important part is to actually sign petitions and make those calls to get things done. And if they're not done, to continue calling. So I was like, yo, least I could do is to get these bars back. Right. So I had previously had News 12 on speed dial on my phone, just because I've met them. They've come to the park, done interviews about the park numerous times, right? So I've met a lot of the interviews. So I've met a lot of the people doing the interviews, and they always say, yo, if you have anything going on in this park, give us a call. And that was the first call I made, because after finding out from the actual person who cut the bars off that he literally did it because they weren't listening to them when they told them to not jump over the barricade. Yeah. And I was like, I understand your frustration, but because the person I spoke to also was the person who got me the permit for the Push the World tour at Yankee Stadium. Right. I said, if you know that I'm that person in the park who can actually get something done, why didn't you call me? Right. I said, I understand you decided to remove the bars, but the way you remove the bars, that you don't have the equipment to replace the bars. Exactly. I said, I went back to the shed in the park. That equipment that you cut off is not in that shed. Y'all threw it out. So it's not coming back. Right. And he had nothing to say. So I said, okay, I'm letting you know that I'm going to start a petition. I'm going to talk to your boss and everybody else that's going to listen to me and get this stuff back. And he was like, good luck. Right. So I was like,
time too? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I was like, I'm only telling you as a courtesy. This is going to happen. And to be honest with you, I reached out to the head of the parks department for that region, and they ignored me. That's when I reached out to the news. I said, okay, so now I'm going to embarrass you. Yeah. I reached out to the news. I'm going to let the world hear the story since you don't want to hear it. And I put that story out. And that's when somebody in the office said, somebody get on this job and stop this from happening. Right? So then I got the petitions. We got thousands of signatures for that petition, first of all. Not only online, but I had my boy TNT, who's a boxer. He was a two-time Golden Glove boxer who teaches the young kids out in the park how to box, and he actually trains them for Golden Gloves and the Olympics. Right. I had him getting the paper signatures, so he had maybe 6,000 signatures. Wow. Right, that he handed to me. Right, so they got somebody to take charge of the job. right? So they all sat with me. They had a meeting with me. Plan of action. They tried to say that it was because of the drainage problem at Yankee Stadium, which is why they cut the bars down. I said, so if it's a drainage problem, why didn't you cut it from the base?
Right.
I said, your man already told me he cut it just to be malicious. He straight up said I did it because they didn't listen to me.
Right.
And he also tried to fabricate, say that there was a physical altercation with some Parks Department people and some of the people in the area, which was never confirmed. I said, oh, so there was a police report. So that means I could go look this up. Doesn't exist. Right? So I said, okay, so now you're trying to make something bigger, make it more than it is. I said, if you want to blame it on the drainage problems, okay, so this is a complete rebuild. It took 10 years for you to consider a rebuild after I got on the news.
Right.
There was never any intention of even repairing anything at this park because the little sit-up machine that was there was broken every single year. And you guys did a horrible job replacing that.
Right.
So after the first meeting, they put back 2 pieces of equipment that they did have in the back, which was a single pull-up dip station and that same sit-up machine that always breaks. So the day they put it in the ground, I took a video. The thing was falling out the ground. This guy was sitting on it. It was about to fall over on top of him.
Wow.
And I had to catch it. Literally on the scene, I had to grab it before it fell over. Wow. Took videos and pictures of that, sent it to the representative from the Parks Department. They immediately got rid of it. I said, look, we got to get this thing going. Here's the scary part. It took millions of dollars to put that thing in the ground the first time, right? Fractions of that to put it back. They sent me they showed me the invoices and the equipment that we were getting. Bro, it was like $14,000 to get the equipment back. And then the parks themselves did the labor. This was the fastest rebuild in Parks Department history.
Meanwhile, the estimates were probably close to a couple of 100,000, a few hundred thousands.
Yeah, they did it all. They did the whole thing for less than $20,000. And then 2 blocks, not 2 blocks, where Hostos is on the Grand Concourse in 149th Street. They built another quick little workout area in that section. The week before Yankees, they opened up Brotherhood again. They had a grand opening there, right, at that park. And the news was there. All the Parks Department representatives was there. City council members were there, and they were so proud of that area. They opened up Brotherhood again. It was a couple pictures on somebody's phone and some yellow caution tape.
I remember. Yes.
And then they were gone.
Yeah.
They were ashamed of that.
Yeah.
But we got our equipment back. Yeah. It's something that they should be ashamed of. Right. Because they did it, like you said, they did it in an area that they know nobody is used to complaining about, because they think they know that the people there are used to not getting any action. Right. But like you said, they dealt with the wrong one.
They didn't know who they was dealing with.
That's my home, man. That was like I came home and then somebody stole my couch.
Exactly.
Fellas, let me jump in real quick.
So do you think
Red, hold on 1 second. Red. Let me jump in real quick because I know we're gonna wrap this up soon. I got one question. It's a legacy question. Where does Q Friends see the end of, like, I don't want to say at the end, but where do you see your legacy taking you? I will call it the sunset portion of your legacy.
Bro, that's a hard question. I mean, I put like this. This calisthenic thing has been a passion project of mine for many years, and it's probably the hardest. It's probably one of the hardest things that I've been dealing with for so long, because I've been getting so much kickback, and I feel like I'm doing this from a good place. And as welcoming as this community has been, the pushback and the constant like negativity here and there it's been a lot. It's been a lot to deal with, right? And I feel like I'm dealing with it well, but it's not going to stop my end goal, which is making this thing great, you know, through my involvement and trying to be as positive, that positive person, that person that people can trust. That's the biggest thing for me. I just want to be that person that people can trust in this community, because there's a lot of reasons to find negativity in this community, and whatever, you name it. So to be someone that people can trust and to provide something that can last way past me, that I could hand over literally a business to my son, John, and your kids, Red, and his family, because there's a lot of potential here. And it's been like, it's been a struggle to push here in the United States more than other places, because we got to do it all ourselves without any funding, you know, and the people that's willing to give, people with the funding are just willing to take instead of give.
Exactly.
Right. So instead of asking, I want to be the person giving, and I'm giving y'all everything that I could possibly give. And I'm going to continue to do this because I'm passionate about this. I love this culture. I'm going to continue to be a spokesperson for it, because I don't see any reason why somebody can't make a living doing this as a sport.
Amen.
Bro, I want to thank you so much, man. This has been so phenomenal. Like, I can't tell you, man, just to hear your story and how you do it. Red, thank you for doing such an amazing job. The way you and Q have this conversation going back and forth is ultimately is something that nobody else can do. You said something earlier that I'll say here. Q is the right person to do the interviews because he was there. Regardless of how good somebody may interview or have a colder conversation, it doesn't make the difference when you're having somebody with conversation and you remember seeing them there while history was happening. So I had to have you do it with him because you are a part of that history, which is why you were the first person we spoke to. And it's only right that a lot of these interviews are slowing down now. We're gonna pick them back up soon when we shift over to the next version of this podcast. But we had to start with the people that paved the way, and I can't do this interview because I haven't helped pave the way like you two have. You can have a conversation with him about times in history that nobody else can, but everybody else is dying to hear about, because we got here because of the history that you both created. And Cuban, you already know how I feel. I say it loud and proud. I don't care who. If you don't want me to say it or not, I'm gonna say it. You are a legend, and ain't nobody can do anything about it. They can't say nothing about it.
Definitely. I mean, John, I got one last question. Or I have a few questions.
I give you 30 seconds. Go ahead, do your thing.
Give me three things that when you go to work out, you must have, whether it be a particular exercise, a food, article. Three things that Q needs when he goes to exercise.
Fresh air.
When he goes get that workout. What's
fresh
that?
Air. Fresh air.
Right.
Music.
Right.
Water.
That's it. That is my exact answer. Exact answer. There you go.
That's it. That's what I look for. That's what I'm looking for. If I have those three things, I'm good. I'm good.
And you know what? You don't really need the music sometimes neither. I can get the vibe off of wherever I'm at, if I'm lacking in that. But yeah, fresh air, something to drink.
Yeah. Now, mind you, that's when it's just me.
Yeah.
When I know I'm gonna meet other people, I just vibe off of the energy, man. I go there with no expectations, nothing. I just vibe off the energy, man. And that's what the Push the World Tour is about. Yeah. Because Push the World Tour is nothing but a group of people meeting up at the park. That's it. You just have incentive. You just have incentive to do more, you know. But it's about just bringing that energy back to when we all just jumped in the cars and went out to Brooklyn, or we went up to the Heights as a group, you know, and called up everybody. Yo, I'm about to be at this part, man. Just that same energy. You know that there's gonna be a competition is bound to break out,
right?
Just because it happens naturally, right? So we just created the forum for it to happen, and if it didn't happen, we created the competition. So,
listen, I appreciate you. A lot of us appreciate you. We thank you for all the contributions that you have given us, given the bar community. Again, I said you were the best person to do this, and I'm honored to have had this opportunity to interview you. So, to the world, my man Q France, thank you. Appreciate you. This is CCA, and we signing off.
Appreciate you, brother. Much love, much love.
Much love, much love. Hey, John, you got anything?
No, I'm just gonna sign it off. I'm just trying to let y'all look good for a couple more seconds. You know how it is.
Right. Yeah, they didn't want to drag it on too long because we was about to get into a deeper conversation about what the pandemic has done.
Hold it. We
No,
got
that
part
can be
two.
another.
Everybody gets
No, we
part
can have it.
two.
We can have it.
That can be another segment.
Yeah, so because they're gonna be a part two. Let me put the logo up and let everybody go.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah. Yep.